Hey everyone, welcome back to my new video. I am currently in UK on a graduate visa and my graduate visa is valid till December 2025, but I have made a decision to go back to India this year in September 2024. So in this video, I'm going to take you through all the key points that why I have made that decision, and this video also might help new students who are deciding to come to UK or any country from their home country, and I hope you understand all of the points and then make an informed decision about what to do in life. Now again, I am not for or against if people should move to different countries to study or to settle. This video is just my personal experience, my personal opinion, and whatever the situations and the thought processes is my own thought process. Maybe for some of you, you'll be able to understand what I'm trying to say, and maybe for some of you, it won't make any sense. It is just that you will get a different perspective from someone else. Now, first of all, I want to address why I have made the decision to go back to India. Now, there are multiple reasons for me personally. Number one is family. So in my family, it's me, my mom, my dad, and my younger brother. And as I have grown older, as my parents are getting older, I can just feel this sense of duty inside me that I have to go back to my parents. This can be due to multiple reasons. So first of all, I've been in the UK since 2016, and then I went back to India in 2020. So when I came to 2016, it was 1 year after my class 12, so after finishing school. And I have spent my late teens and early 20s in the UK, and I got used to the lifestyle in the UK a lot. And whenever I used to go to India in summer, I just didn't feel that connected. I just felt that I need to go back. And when 2020 hit, the COVID came, I had to go back to India. There was no other option. My visa expired, and then I stayed in India for 2 years, knowing mostly that I just can't go back to UK. And during those 2.5 years, I very much shifted back to Indian culture a lot. But again, I was only halfway through, and that was partially the reason why I came back to UK to do my masters. Things like I didn't get a chance to even apply for jobs or anything because of COVID. I wanted to do my masters in 2020, but then COVID happened, so I had that reason as well. And then I was getting 50% off in my masters from the same university because I got a first in my undergrad. So that was again the reason, and that was the last year when that offer was valid till. And also that if I wanted to do masters, I should do it earlier rather than later, because later on I need to take care of my parents, I need to settle down and everything. And those were the reason why I came back to the UK. So I came here, I completed my masters, but during past few months, as you might have noticed through my content as well, I've gone through a spiritual journey. I have gone through this sense of detachment, and I've got to understand myself a bit better. And understanding myself a bit more made me realize that I have this sense of duty inside me that I have to move back to India to my parents. Now, I told you there were multiple reasons. So one of them was the family. Second one was the job opportunities in the UK compared to India. Now, if I have to stay in the UK, I have to work. I have to find a job, probably 9 to 5, not in my graduate visa, but if I have to stay in the country after my graduate visa, I have to get a 9 to 5 job, like 9 to 5 as in like a fixed hour job or fixed contract job through some employer and through some company. So after my masters, during my job hunt process, I applied to many places. It was very hard to find a job. I'm gonna make a separate video about job search process, but I was able to secure a position in this place as a marketing executive, and I have done my masters in marketing as well. I went through 2-3 stages of interview, and it was the last stage. I was 99% sure I was gonna get the job because the guy recently messaged me again asking if my decision to go to India is final or not. So that job was very much fixed, but that offer and the possibility of doing that job made me realize my privilege. I'll be very honest that I am very privileged that I got to do undergrad and my masters in the UK, and I have that opportunity to go back to India and not do any job because I belong to a family who has done so much for me and my brother, and I'm just so much grateful for everything I have. And this also made me realize that I don't need to suffer just for the sake of suffering. And I understand people have different opinion about this topic, but the way I see it, I'm not afraid to work. I have always worked. I have always liked to do some sort of activities. Like my mind can't sit idle, and that is enough for me to eat 3 meals a day, and that's all I need. I don't need fancy cars, I don't need fancy house, I don't need fancy things in life, which is the whole reason why I'm going back to India. Because if I want all that lavish lifestyle, I would have stayed here, or I would have gone to India and tried to find some job in high corporate paying world that will make me some amount of money. But I've realized that I need more mental peace, and I can't work for other people. I can lead teams, so I'm gonna go full on in YouTube. I'm gonna go full on in my family business, farmlands, and whatever I can work with. and I'm gonna be doing what I like. I'm gonna be doing everything on my own terms, and this is a privilege which I understand not everyone have. So this is one of the personal reasons why I'm going back to India. And one of the last reasons which I'm going back to India is, so after 2020, after COVID, after Brexit, there has been a culture shift in the Western countries. I just don't know how to explain it. I don't know what this is. It's just my personal experience which I have felt. And before 2020, I was a different person in the UK. Maybe it was me who has changed, or maybe it is the culture which has changed. But after coming back here to do my masters, I have just not felt the same connection I have felt earlier. And maybe this is one of the reasons why I have always felt a bit out of place in the UK since I came in 2020, and it is one of the reasons why I'm going back to India as well. So now these were the reasons why I'm going back to India, and now I want to shift the focus on the people who are watching this video, and I want to point out all the things which you should consider before moving to the UK. So first of all, people who should be coming to the UK should be the people who are determined, because to get jobs in the UK you need to work really hard. I know 3 or 4 people who has got the Tier 2 sponsorship in the UK. Okay, 2 of them are really good in what they do. So one of them is engineer and one of them is in the management side of the business. So one works with the university and he has 3 years sponsor visa. One works again as an engineer. He has 3 works sponsor visa. And one person who came here didn't pass his masters, and he got his sponsor by bribing people, and I don't know how he got his sponsorship. He just have it. So again, like, it just depends on what you want to do. I never support these kind of things, like people just paying off, because I think it's unfair for people who are actually working hard. And because of these kind of people, the whole immigration laws and everything changes and are made strict, and it just put burden on the genuine students who want to come to the UK and actually put an effort into making something out of themselves. So you should be determined. You should understand why you are coming to the UK. You should start studying from the day you come in, finish your assignments on time, book meetings with professor, start looking for experience, which is one of the biggest thing in the UK you need. You can have whatever degrees you want. You can have 2-3 masters, you can have first grade, but if you don't have any experience, you're not gonna get any job. So starting to doing freelance work, starting to take even unpaid volunteer work just to build up your CV will be very, very beneficial, and preparing yourself as a candidate will be very, very beneficial. And I'm gonna dive deep into this topic in another video where I'm going to talk about jobs and CVs and things like that. So this should be the first thing. And another thing which I want to really focus on, and this is the reason why I feel like many of the people move to countries, is because they think they're running away from their problems in their home country. Now, I can't emphasize this enough, that your problems are going to follow you no matter where you go. You cannot run away from your problems by moving from one place to another. You can run away from physical problems, of course, 100%, and I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about people who are running away from the mental side of the problems. For example, they think they're lonely in their home country and they think they will be happier in a different country. They might think that they are not made for certain type of culture, and if they have not traveled to a different country before and they have all these expectations in their mind based on the Western media, based on the limelight of these Western countries which is portrayed in media in general, that I will suggest you understand yourself, that are you running away from something or are you running towards something? There's a very big difference in that. If you are running away from things, your problems are going to follow you. But if you're running towards something, if you're trying to achieve something, 100% go for it. Now, I want to focus on 3 things which you should 100% consider before moving to any country from your home country. So the first of all is very obvious, which is the cost of living. Now, I understand if you look at the minimum wage in a different country from your home country, you might think, oh, this is what I'm going to get and I only get this amount of money. So you need to understand that as you earn more, you spend more as well. And understanding how much money you're going to earn, how much money you're going to spend per month, and how much savings you're going to do and what you can do with those savings is very important. There are many videos on YouTube regarding this, and there can be many ways you can calculate it yourself. There are many websites where you can compare things. You can do your own research regarding the groceries you get in other countries, the rent you might pay, the bills and everything, and whatever you're earning in your own country, and that can have a very big impact in your life in general. Second thing which you should consider is healthcare. Now, you must have heard that, oh, healthcare is free in the UK and even in Canada and everything, and it's it's one of the best healthcare system. Let me tell you the truth, it is not. Okay, the thing about healthcare is, if I have to undergo an operation in India, let's say, and it might cost me a lot of amount of money, which if you say, oh, let's compare it to the UK, you might not have paid anything. It makes sense, but at the same time in the UK you have to wait a long period of time for your appointment. Let me give you a very simple example, and I found this very absurd. So one of my friend's friend broke his leg and he has to wait 10 hours before anyone attended him in the hospital. Imagine you have a broken bone and you wait for 10 hours. In India, it does not matter. Like things like this, you get away with easily. Now, I understand big operations, things like that, those are expensive in India and it's free in the UK, and you might get emergency appointments and things like that. But when it comes to your day-to-day healthcare, for example, you might break your bone, you might have a high fever, things like that, the whole process in the UK is very bad, and it's very frustrating at the same time as well. So for me personally, where I can pay a bit for my healthcare in India, I think issues like I have pain in my stomach, I can go to a doctor and get it tested, compared to the UK where they will just tell me to wait for a couple of days. If it goes away, it's fine. If it doesn't go away, then yeah, I can get an appointment. But in India, even if I go for that initial treatment, I can see what is wrong with me, if it's something which I should look into straight away. And most of the times in medical things, the earlier you diagnose a problem, the better it is, which I think in the UK is very fucked up. Now let's move on to the third thing, which is very important, and this is one of the biggest factors which made me realize that I have to move back to India, and that factor is time. Now I think doesn't matter how much amount of money you earn, I think time is the most valuable currency. And when I was about to get this job, the work timing was from 8:30 to 5:30 in the evening. Of course, 1 hour break in the between the day, but like you're still in a work environment in a way. And for that, I realized that I have to leave 1 hour early. I have to wake up at nearly 6, and I'll be back by nearly 7, and I have to sleep by 10. Because I have to wake up at 6. So I will technically have 2, maybe max to max 3 hours to myself every day. I don't think that is enough for me. I need more time with myself. I need to take care of myself. I need to cook food, healthy food. If I forget food, then I need to buy food outside, which is not healthy in a country like UK especially. And I need to exercise, and if I only have 3 hours to myself, that 3 hours will be just gone in relaxing, because I'll be tired throughout the day because I have worked the whole day. And this is the cycle which is most of the Western world is stuck in, and not just Western world, even in India. And this is where my privilege kicked in, and it made me realize that if I'm so privileged, why am I putting myself through this? And if my life and my karma has given me this opportunity to do what I want, to do what I love, why I'm scared to move forward in that direction? And I want to, like, for example, do YouTube. I want to, do things which I like. And if I have to do that after 2 years anyway, these things made me realize that I think I should stop running away from whatever I'm running away from, And this is one of the reasons which I realized that time is very important, and me being in India will give me a lot of time to take care of myself, to grow as a person, and I'll be very stupid to let go of this privilege. Now there are a couple of other factors which I want to focus on. So a lot of people can't distinguish between traveling somewhere and living somewhere. So if you have this desire to see a different country and you want to live there for a while, see the lifestyle and everything, don't move there, because you're going to spend a lot of money and you won't be able to see the country, to see and experience the culture the way you do when you're traveling. So it's a very big difference, because for example, like summer in the UK is beautiful. That is why I'm recording like this, because it's very sunny outside. I can actually show you, like, not sure if you can see, it's very it's sunny weather outside, and it's very lovely, it's brilliant. But at the same time, if I'm working 9 to 5, I won't be able to enjoy the sun. I can enjoy it on weekend, but most of the weekend just go away doing things like grocery shopping, laundry and things like that. And if I save up money and travel in the UK for 1 month, I'll be just chilling, or even not a month, even 2 weeks, I'll be just sitting here chilling. And those 2 weeks will be more beneficial for me instead of just moving to a country, because I'm not going to be enjoying the moment. I'm just going to be, busy working and all the things. So differentiate between traveling and living somewhere. And this obviously depends on how you're settled in your home country. And if you're well off in your home country, I will definitely recommend to try this route, because it won't be worth it to leave everything you have in your home country just to move to a different country to experience that culture, to see these things, because it might have been portrayed in the media in a certain way. Another thing which I want to focus is on, never ever follow your friend, your girlfriend, boyfriend, or your relatives outside. So if you are just looking at them and just going them, out because they are going, I should go as well, this is not the way to do things. You need to understand your own expectations, your desires, what you want from life, evaluate yourself, understand yourself, and then make a decision, because just following someone is not gonna be the answer you're looking for if you're running away from things. And it's again the same thing which I mentioned in the start, that if you're running away from something, it's gonna follow you no matter where you go. Another thing which I want to focus is on your support network. So in Western countries you get your own space and everything, but at the same time it can get very lonely, especially in your first years. Like, it's very different place, and not for everyone. Like, it depends on person to person how they are. If they are more comfortable in their own environment and they are comfortable in expressing themselves and does not care about whatever people care about, and can go anywhere, do anything, basically they're more outgoing, it will be fine for them. But if you're a bit introvert, if you struggle to make friends, if you struggle to talk to people, it's gonna be very, very lonely, because wherever you are from, home country, you have settled there, you have met people through school or your neighbors or whatever, but you haven't built this support network around you. It doesn't matter how it is, doesn't matter how you got it, but you have it. But when you move to a different country, you start from zero, and if you struggle to talk to people, if you struggle to make friends, that is going to be a bit of kind of like a lonely phase you'll go through in the first year at least. But the only solution for that is going out, talking to people, making that initial effort. Even if you do it online, if you find groups online, and you don't need to go and do any of it face to face, you can join communities, you can join different things, but definitely consider this aspect before moving to a different country. And one of the last things which I want to mention is the visa rules in the country you're applying for. So for example, Canada, the thing was that pretty much a person who goes to Canada will get a PR. But country like UK, you need to understand that it is very, very hard to get a PR, and all of the money you're gonna spend, chances are you're gonna lose all of that money. Not lose in sense, but if your whole goal is to settle in that country, it is going to be very hard in the UK. So in that sense, you're going to lose a lot of money. But if your whole goal is just to study and pay your fees, and you don't care about settling in that country, and you want to go back or you want to go somewhere else, then it's fine. Like, then UK has a very good education system, so that it is definitely worth in that sense. But in terms of getting a PR and spending all of that money on the fees and everything, I'll say consider your other options, and consider the options in your home country as well, that with the amount of money you're going to spend in the UK or US or Canada or Australia, New Zealand or whatever, what you can do with that amount of money in your home country. Can you settle a business? Can you do something which you always wanted to do, and focus on that? You might not need all of the money you were gonna spend in the UK. And this is all coming from personal experience, personal mistakes, and this is what YouTube or any other social platform is, that I share my own experience, I share what I have done and my personal perspective, so people who are about to start this journey can look through this lens as well, and can then make an informed decision that what they want to do in life. The whole goal of this is to have a blank slate, keep like a blank page like in a notebook, and then try to understand things from a neutral perspective, and then try to add your own opinions on that based on your own personal circumstances. Now, this was all for the video. Hopefully this video won't be too long when I edit it out, but this was my personal story in a way, that why I'm going back to India, and also give you a lens to make a decision if you're gonna move to a different country or not. So if you have any doubt or anything in your mind, please write down in the comment section. I'll try to reply to them as soon as possible, and we can probably have a healthy discussion there. And now I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.